Pretty much every Magic set that comes out now has a ton of different variants, foilings, and types of cards you can get. And so because of that, every set has a different collector booster with a different selection of slots that can contain different cards and different treatments. So in this video, I wanted to break down what exactly is in a collector booster for Ravnica Remastered so you know exactly what you're getting when you buy a pack. This includes what you're guaranteed to get, what you might get, and kind of just the general feel of a pack. Let's jump right into this. For the first slot, it's pretty simple. It's going to be a traditional foil double-sided token. So this is going to be your normal token you get at the back of pretty much every pack in foil, but it'll be double-sided, so it'll be one token on the front and one token on the back. Pretty much every collector booster has these, so it's not anything new, but it is kind of cool to see some of the older Ravnica art on this new style of token that's both double-faced and foil. The next four are pretty simple as well. It will be 4 traditional foil commons. So these can be any commons from throughout the set, and they will be in their normal frame. So you won't get any alternate arts here, but they will always be foil. The next one's pretty similar. It will be 3 traditional foil uncommons. Similar to the commons, there will be no alternate art in this slot, but they will always be foil, and they'll just be random uncommons from throughout the set. Alright, so this next slot is where it gets a little bit complicated. You will get 1 traditional foil, artifact, or land, and that'll either be a common, an uncommon, or a rare. This is what they're calling the mana slot. So in this, you can get any of the 10 guild gates, any of the 10 signets, any of the shock lands, or chromatic lantern. You will get a guild gate in this spot about 58% of the time, you'll get a signet about 33% of the time, and you will get a shockland or chromatic lantern about 9% of the time. So most of the time this slot will be a common or uncommon, but about 9% of the time you will get a rare. That means this is a set where the number of rares in a collector booster is variable. For some sets, collector boosters have a set number of rares and every pack has that many. With this set, however, it is variable because of this mana slot here. What's not variable is the next slot will not have a rare or mythic. You will get 2 non-foil retro frame common or uncommons. This is the first major card frame of the set, that being retro. Most of the cards in Ravnica Remastered can be found in both the collector boosters and the draft boosters. However, there is a select number of cards that can only be found in the collector boosters in retro frame. Wizards has stated the reason for this is that the cards were either too powerful or too weak to be in a limited environment, but they wanted to get retro versions out there, so there are things like Niv Mizzet Reborn, Rest in Peace, and kind of cards like that that are available in that retro frame that are not available in normal draft boosters. The reason I bring that up is that you can get some collector booster exclusives in this slot. So about 55.81% of the time, you'll be getting a retro frame common from the main set, and about 2.33% of the time, you'll be getting a collector booster exclusive retro frame common. The reason that is so low is not because it's hard to get these collector booster exclusives, it's because there's only one common one, that being Shambling Shell. Either way, there's a 30.23% chance that you get a retro frame uncommon from the main set, and an 11.63% chance that you get a collector booster exclusive uncommon in retro frame in this slot. I know that was a lot of words, so just know this is always non-foil, always retro frame, and either a common or uncommon from the draft set or the collector booster set. Following that up, you'll get a traditional foil retro frame common or uncommon. At the same chances as the previous one, you'll get one of those things in retro frame, but this time in foil. The next slot will be a traditional foil rare or mythic rare. This is the first guaranteed rare of the pack, and it'll be a rare 88% of the time and a mythic 12% of the time. Just as a note, this will always be traditional foil, but you will never get a shockland in this slot because it is in that mana slot earlier. The next slot is a non-foil retro frame rare mythic, so the same style as earlier, but this time it will be for rares and mythics. You'll get a rare from the main set 76.1% of the time, you'll get a collector booster exclusive rare 13.6% of the time, you'll get a mythic from the main set about 7.3% of the time, and you'll get a collector booster exclusive mythic about 3% of the time. The next slot after that is a non-foil borderless rare mythic rare. Borderless is another one of the card styles in Ravnica Remastered. These are the ones that go to the edges of the entire card and have different art from the main cards. Ravnica Remastered does not have any extended art, which shouldn't be confused with borderless art. Extended art is the version of the card where it's the same art as the normal card but stretched out to the edges. Borderless goes to all of the edges and has different art than the main card. Just like it feels like with everything in Ravnica Remastered, there are 2 versions of this. There's the anime inspired arts on the rares and mythics, and then there's the Shockland borderless, which is just borderless art on the Shocklands. This art actually originally came from Magic the Gathering Online, depicting Ravnica rebuilding after the events of War of the Spark. Either way, you'll get a non-foil borderless anime rare about 52% of the time, you'll get a non-foil border anime planeswalker mythic about 5.5% of the time, you'll get a non-foil borderless anime mythic non-planeswalker about 15% of the time, and you will get a borderless Shockland rare about 27.5% of the time, which means about 1 in 4 collector boosters will have a borderless Shockland just in this spot. Everything up until this point has been relatively simple. However, this next slot is the most confusing in the pack with about 9 different things that can be in it. So let's break it down. The one thing that's similar about all of these is that they are all traditional foils. So expect these all to be foil and bling down. It's kind of the crown of the pack, the coolest, rarest thing in the pack. So you can get a foil retro frame rare about 55.2% of the time. This is the thing by far that you will most likely see in this spot. But you can also get a foil retro frame mythic about 5.3% of the time. On top of that, you can get a foil retro frame collector booster exclusive rare about 10.6% of the time, and a foil retro frame collector booster mythic about 2.1% of the time. After that, we move away from retro frame and you can get a foil borderless anime rare about 13.4% of the time, a foil borderless anime planeswalker mythic rare about 1.4% of the time, a foil borderless anime mythic rare that's not a planeswalker about 4% of the time, and a foil borderless shock land rare about 7% of the time. Now the last thing that this can be is probably the thing that you've maybe heard about and they've been doing a lot. It is the serialized card. So about 1% of the time you will get a serialized double rainbow foil retro frame card. Now whenever a collector booster has serialized cards in it, I like to kind of break down the math on how many you'd have to buy in order to get them and why you shouldn't just buy packs hoping to get a serialized card. Like if you pull one, that's great, but if you're really wanting a serialized card, it's going to be cheaper to buy it. And I really want to stress that with this set because there are 64 cards that show up in retro frame serialized, each one with 500 versions that are serialized. That means there are 32,000 serialized cards in Ravnica Remastered, which, if you put that number into perspective, makes it seem not as rare as something obviously like the One of One ring, and it isn't as cool of a thing to get when there are so many. It reminds me a lot of March of the Machine. I actually own a serialized card. I pulled one from a March of the Machine collector booster and I was really excited, but it is a random uncommon that really doesn't see any play. It's Rada, Coalition Warlord, and the serialized version is going for about $72 right now. Right now on TCG Player, collector boosters are going for about $22.83 each, and so at 1% chance of getting it, you would have to open about $2,283 worth of collector boosters in order to be statistically likely to have pulled a serialized card. But that doesn't let you pick what the card is. It could be a serialized Cindervines, which I don't think a ton of people are looking for. Yes, it could be a Shockland, and some people are going to open those, and that's going to be great for those people. The odds of pulling the one you want, if you just want one serialized card in particular, is 0.015%. In order to be statistically likely to open the one specific one that you want, you have to spend about $140,000 on collector boosters. And if you're looking for a specific number, you basically have to buy every single collector booster and spend about $70 million on them. The entire point of that entire rant is that if you are looking for a specific card to be serialized and you want to own it because you like the character or you like the card, just buy it. Do not buy a bunch of collector boosters trying to get it because your odds of getting it are incredibly low. So that is a collector booster of Ravnica Remastered. You are guaranteed at least 4 rares or mythic in each pack, and there is a chance of a 5th in that mana slot early on. You're looking for serialized cards and for shocklands, and those are kind of the 2 big things from it. There are some other cool reprints in there as well. If you want to actually see the top 10 most expensive cards you can pull from the set, I did a video covering that, and you can see that here. Or if you want to see how the special guests from Lost Caverns of Ixalan held their price, you can see here and see if those reprints actually meant anything. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.